Hello, welcome to another video. It's me, Emperor Monkey, and I finally feel ready to do this guide. Now, I played so many games last night. I didn't record any of them, but I went up 1,000 places playing Leon. Oh, yeah, thanks for the 4-star, guys. Doesn't matter. Okay. So, this isn't just a build guide, but this is a mentality guide. So, this is how you should be thinking while playing. Oh, get wrecked. While playing this Leon. Now, as you probably already know, Leon clones have been buffed so much, right? Now, I was actually preparing this build before the patch came out. Was there? It was a 4-star. I was actually preparing this. I was going clones before. I was going clones in 2.8 because I knew this would be so strong. So basically, the mentality is passive play. Now, Ronimo keep nerfing it and keep saying it's wrong. But you can still do it, and it still works. The more they nerf it, the more perfect you have to do it, and the more you kind of hope that your team doesn't die a lot. I'll go into it when you can play passive and when you can't. There are certain times when you can and you can't. I just got tapped out. But the first thing you want to do is you want to get Lifesteal as soon as possible. I keep getting tabbed out. Am I going to get killed by this? No. Okay. The first thing you want to do is you want to get Lifesteal as soon as possible. Well, actually the first thing you want to do is grab both abilities start. Now, that's been questionable. I used to go at last patch because I liked having invis. Never mind this patch, you get a clone that attacks things with you. Last patch it was debatable. Now I think I've got a good argument to say, come on, clone first. It's good for pushing. Alternatives, you can go piggy bank because you don't necessarily want. You don't need regen late game, so you can get piggy bank and get tongue and lifesteal that way if you prefer. This is just my particular play style. Oh, yes. See, I got teammates eventually. Yeah, what was I thinking? Go on. Yeah, the next thing you want to get is lifesteal. Because lifesteal is ridiculous with clones and yourself fighting creeps. It allows you. That's what allows you to play so passive. It's just fantastic. You practically never get harassed out of lane, and you send your creeps out. They also give you lifesteal. And it just becomes a pain for your opponent to use. You can spam them out in the middle of a fight, and that'll give you more health. I mean, the amount of fights I've won purely because of clone army regen is unbelievable. Like you can even throw them on a push somewhere else and then start fighting someone while you're on full health, because you're still going to get that regen back from the creep wave. But important things to note: you don't go the clone army first. You go for the lifesteal first because it's incredible. You still get this clone, so you can sit next to towers because it does attack on base. You sit next to towers, and then you start getting the crits up and the attack speed, and that's because that's more important for both your damage and your clone's damage than actually having moving and walking clones. In fact, getting walking clones early on can mess you up because they start taking too many hits. At the moment, if you go invis, drop a clone behind a creep wave, it will last longer than getting walking clones and letting it walk straight into the creep wave, because the clones haven't got a smart AI in them. So go on, nope. Now I'm just going to talk about like when you can do this and when not to do this. So you can do this when, one, your team is competent. I solo queue a lot, so you've got to kind of work out from the very beginning, are my team silly and feeding all game, right? That's the first thing you've got to know. Now, if they are, it's not necessarily over yet, right? You might still want to go this build, right? The second question you have to ask yourself is, can I keep the towers alive? Now, if you can keep the towers alive by yourself, just by Clone Army Leon, then it's probably worth doing that, because that's probably your best shot, rather than trying to go into like a brawling Leon. So that's kind of when you can do it. Times you don't want to do it is, like I said, if your team are so bad that you can't really do anything, they keep dying, and you can't keep the towers alive just by going Clone Army, it's not going to work. There's no point going for more Clone Army, right? So you've got to try and rush backstab and hope that you can carry your team. Another time you might not want to, it's not something I've tested, but if you're going Leon versus Leon, the only games I lost really, I lost one to a particularly good clunk basically, that wrecked my team, and I'd already gone Clone Army, so it was too late. And I only lost, and I lost a couple of games to other Leons that were going into brawling rather than going clones. Even them going backstab and attack speed instead of crits and attack speed could really kind of mess me up. So I'd watch out for that. Other times when you probably shouldn't do this build, I think that's it really. I think that's the main points, is you can't get away with any passive play at all if your team aren't very good. Now that's quite risky when you're playing. I play a lot of solo queue, but bear in mind I went up 1,000 places in the leaderboards last night. Like 1,000 places. I was at 4. I've been stuck at 4,000 for so long this league, and yeah, Leon last night brought me up. So yeah. Now playing passive. Also, just want to make sure playing passive doesn't mean do nothing. I think people associate passive with like Nor and Yuri, and that's something that is right. They do play passively, but to play passive correctly is a different thing. Playing passive doesn't mean not help your teammates. It means don't chase those kills because you've probably got something more important to do. For instance, if you're chasing someone and they're about to get away, but they're so low they're gonna have to go to base, I'm not gonna chase that anymore, right? And I'm gonna go for the creep wave and push it, because getting those towers is way more important. It creates more space. In fact, on this map it's so important, because once you get all 3 towers down, I can start throwing creeps over the edge, and if they don't realise I'm doing it, their base is just taking free harass. I've won a couple of games last night from doing that. It was pretty awesome. Well, when I say pretty awesome, some people might say they felt it was unfair, but that's this patch for you. See, look at that fight. We were fighting 2v3 for most of that fight. And I kind of came out on top. Other things. Also bear in mind that Leon is a very all-round character, so he can play both hyper-aggressive or as a more passive player. So the fact that I've got a Nibs, because Nibs is a hyper-aggressive character. If you're playing a passive character, then you're playing it wrong, right? So, but the fact I've got a Nibs and a Lone Star, I work with them really well, because all this Lone Star wants to do is push. So that's what all Lone Stars want to do ever. Oh, I missed the song. And all this Nibs want to do is kill people, and I work with both now. That's what it used to be like in the old days, and that's kind of what's happened to know this patch. Ooh, oh, that was my bad. I should have backed off. Yeah, so I'm about to start going into that clone army. I don't really want to go back until I've got 410, because that's the cost for walking clones and more health clones. It's right. What do you? The question is, do you go exploding clones? That is a good question, because I don't know the answer yet. I've been trying it. I like it. Some people say that it's not worth going for it, and you're better off just going for a backstab, because it throws people off. I can see why that makes sense. I played against a Durple the other night, and a Durple and a Genji actually, and because if you tried to stack up Clone Army with Explode, it just absolutely wrecked them. So there's that to bear in mind. Oh, silly Raylan. Oh, that bull! No! Also, leaving clones in places where you can get vision early game is really useful, as well as their top creeps, because it's now got attack. So my guy just button. Yeah. Oh, did I just button them? Maybe I buttoned them. Oh, come on, that tongue hit. Yeah, the most important part of this guide about being passive is trying not to lose towers. I know we lost one, but it's okay, because we still got the other one, and it's unlikely they're going to be able to take it with a Lone Star on in the game, unless we die. And that comes to the second point. Dying is the worst thing you could possibly do. Which, like, if you die, you're putting this entire strategy at risk, and it's generally good practice not to die. Oh, come on, that was dodgy. You all saw that was dodgy. Yeah, I don't really want to get these yet. Some people might argue that if you're relying on not dying, it's not a good build. But at the same time, not dying means you have more solar. More solar means that you go up at the leaderboards faster. I may as well mention this. This isn't a team composition guide. I'm sure, because let's be honest, there are so many better teammates for like a proper competitive 3-stack. You know, the 3 tanks, Clunk, Scoop and Sentry, that's a horrible team to play against. At the same time, you're never going to be able to play that in a pub, probably, because, let's be honest, not everyone can play all those characters. If one person messes up, it doesn't work. with this is something you can go into a pub, kind of play and know pretty safely that you're going to do pretty well. It's not a guaranteed win because I lost 3 games last night. I don't know what happened there. Why are people raging about Penny? She got nerfed so hard. I'm lucky I didn't die there. She wasn't 100% picked. I know for a fact she wasn't picked. We banned her though. Alright, maybe. Okay, I've got Clone Army now. Confusing railings. That's another part. So having the clones does actually confuse people. Oh, if Raylan had sniped me, I bet I would have died. Come on, yes. Okay, it wasn't my teammates that died. Got all this extra damage. Oh, I've been tabbed out. No, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Nope. Oh my god, I'm good. Oh, that was so close. Oh. Tabbing out halfway through. Yeah, there we go. Keep getting tabbed out because of task manager. Let's close it. There we go. Ooh, I probably shouldn't be. Oh, again, I shouldn't be 3v1ing, but and I missed that tongue. Make sure that you're having that clone army on the smallest cooldown possible, so you can spam it out as much as possible. I don't want to drop it there, I want to drop it here. I need to get Silence Tongue as soon as possible, really. Probably should have gone for it a bit earlier. But Silence Tongue against a Froggy G and a Penny would be really nice. And also, when I tongue in the railing, it means you can't drop a Time Rift. It's a shame. Ooh, that was poor play by me. That ran. Ooh, she didn't really chase me. She did, but no, I'm bad. I'm gonna finish off this game. I love playing Clone Army Leon with Lone Stars. It's great. Oh, I missed the tongue. Also helps if you're better at tongues than I am. I'm not going to chase that because pushing is more important. Also, bear in mind, if you know your teammates are bad and you're actually going for this because it's the only thing that's saving your team, and you're not going to go help them, your team will hate you. And, you know, you're going to have to deal with that. But another tip for just playing with people online, if they're raging, I mean, sometimes you might want to talk to them to see if they'll improve, and, you know, sometimes you'll be mad, but most of the time it's loads better to just ignore it, because hopefully they'll stop typing and play more. Sometimes even if you're winning, sometimes if you just want to, you know, congratulate someone for getting a really good kill, you might be better off doing it at the end of the game, because, you know, that's clicks that you're missing. That's one person dead. You know, you could be really pressuring a tower. Although I could say about making a YouTube video, but also if someone rage quits, this might sound really harsh, but end the game as fast as possible. If someone on the enemy team rage quits, you want to end that game as soon as possible, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One, you don't want a person to come in and like have a sucky game, lose, and feel a bit rubbish about it. Two, it might be a stally game, but the other members of the team might feel obligated to stall it as much as they can, and you know you're going to win, they know you're going to win, but they play it anyway, because that's what Awesomenauts is like. That's kind of what the system forces you to do. So they probably don't want to. I know when I'm playing someone like a Lone Star and I can't really do anything because I'm pretty much a pure passive pusher, and if my teammates are dying over and over again, there's nothing I can do, and that's why I don't play Lone Star in pubs. And you can stall it so that your towers don't die ridiculously quick, but it's not exactly a fun game. So also, if another person joins and they are better and turn the game, well, that sucks for you. So that time between them losing a player and the bot dropping down is so important, right? You need to take that tower, take the advantage, and try and make sure they never get it back. Same when they get a brand new player in. It sucks for them, but that means a player's been taken off the board and is dropping down, and that's approximately like 10 seconds, maybe 12 if you count like running through the shop and stuff. And if it's a late join, they have to pick all their items, so that's slightly longer. And that's time that you should be abusing to try and win the game. You could argue, well, I think it is a bit silly that's what the game forces people to do, because I think they buffed stalling. Well, I'm actually going to go back on a forum post I posted the other day. Other week. I kind of said that pushing had been buffed, and that was half true. But what I've come to realise is actually pushing hasn't been buffed, stalling has. And if you're a passive pusher like Lone Star, Vinny can do it because of Cloud, Vinny can stall, or Genji, all these people can stall forever, but if you have bad teammates, you're never going to win. So, I kind of went off topic, but this has been my Leon guide. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned something about passive play, because that's what this is about. And I'll see you next time. I'll stop recording now. No.